Imagine your brain as a tidy office. There's a calendar on the wall, a clean desk, a chair that doesn't squeak, and a very serious project manager sitting upright with a clipboard. This part of you is thoughtful and rational. It lays out timelines, breaks tasks into steps, and believes in things like sleep and tomorrow's happiness. Let's call this part the rational planner. Now imagine the office door swings open, and a fuzzy, wide-eyed creature tumbles in on a skateboard, holding 3 donuts and a phone with 17 notifications. This creature has 2 rules: what's easy and what's fun. Right now. This is the instant gratification creature. It does not read calendars. It does not understand future consequences. It knows only one time zone, the present moment, where snack videos and shiny distractions live. Most days, those 2 roommates share the same brain. The planner tries to schedule, and the creature tries to party. And between them stands your to-do list, watching the tug-of-war like a daisy stuck between 2 goats. Welcome to the mental life of a master procrastinator. Today, I want to tour that office, introduce you to one more character who shows up at the worst, and strangely, best times, and then step back to look at something bigger, the calendar of a life. My goal isn't to shame you for your browser tabs or magically optimize your soul. It's to help you understand what's going on inside your head when you put things off, so you can design better days and, ultimately, a better arc for your one wild life. Part 1. The map of delay. Procrastination isn't laziness. Lazy people don't intend to do the thing. Procrastinators fully intend to do the thing, just a bit later. There's effort in that intention. There's hope. There's also friction. The friction begins with a mismatch. The planner measures value by long-term payoff. The creature measures value by instant mood. When a task's benefits lie mostly in the future, like studying, writing, training, saving, the planner lights up. When a task's benefits lie mostly in the present, like scrolling, snacking, chatting, the creature lights up. Our behavior at any given moment depends on who's holding the steering wheel. But procrastination isn't constant. Some people delay a little, some delay a lot, and even the same person delays more in one domain than another. Why? Because the creature is sensitive to 3 big variables. Clarity. Vague tasks feel bigger than they are. Write a book is the size of a planet. Outline chapter 1 for 25 minutes is a pebble. Proximity of reward, the closer and more certain, the good feeling, the stronger the creature's pull. A like on your post is guaranteed and immediate. The satisfaction of finishing a grant proposal is uncertain and weeks away. Urgency and accountability. Deadlines with real stakes flip a hidden switch. Suddenly, a 3rd character appears. The panic monster. Part 2. The panic monster and the deadline. Miracle. The panic monster lives somewhere in the building, asleep most of the time. It wakes up when the stakes become immediate. A deadline tonight, a performance in 2 hours, a plane that leaves at 6 a.m. It doesn't care about subtlety. It cares about survival. When it roars, even the instant gratification creature drops the skateboard and runs. If you've ever produced heroic bursts of productivity the night before something is due, you've met the panic monster. It's the reason you can redesign your life in a single caffeinated evening. The reason your room gets spotless sometime around 3 a.m. on the eve of an exam. The panic monster is nature's brute force patch for procrastination. It is also nature's tax. You get the work, but you pay with stress and often quality. The problem is not that the panic monster exists. The problem is its schedule. It only wakes for deadlines. It doesn't care about tasks without a due date, like building a portfolio, fostering a relationship, learning a language, or doing the slow work of becoming who you want to be. Those projects can drift for years in a gentle fog, because the panic never comes. No alarms, no roaring, just a soft, endless later. There are then 2 kinds of procrastination. Deadline procrastination. Painful, dramatic, eventually productive. No deadline procrastination. Painless in the moment, devastating over time. If you've ever wondered how months vanished from a dream you keep postponing, that's no deadline procrastination at work. It doesn't steal your day. It steals the shape of your life. Part 3. The dark playground. Let's spend a minute on the creature's favorite hangout, the dark playground. This is where you go when you should be doing something else. It looks like fun under a blacklight. Tiny thrills, easy laughs, new tabs, snack raids, conversational detours. But the air there has a pressure system called guilt. The same activity, watching a show, playing a game, scrolling, that would feel refreshing after finishing your work, feels uneasy when you haven't started. You're not resting, you're hiding. The dark playground matters because it confuses your brain. After an hour of low-grade guilty diversion, you feel tired, which your brain mislabels as, "I worked hard." But you didn't. You just used up willpower without moving your life an inch. That hangover, exhausted but empty, makes the next hour even harder. The cure isn't to outlaw fun. The cure is to turn guilt-soaked fun into guilt-free fun, after you earn it with a small, meaningful step. That requires a different landscape, the clear path. Part 4. Designing the clear path. The rational planner loves big plans, the instant gratification. Creature loves easy wins. To get them to work together, you need a design that satisfies both. Here are 5 design principles that reshape your day from the inside out. 1. Shrink the first step. Start the report is ambiguous and scary. Open a fresh doc and type 3 bullet points is so small the creature doesn't mind. Momentum is a mood. Make it effortless to trigger. 2. Make time visible. Humans don't feel time passing. We notice events. Put a timer on your desk, set a 25-minute sprint, and give your brain a countdown story. The creature can handle 25 minutes of anything if a break is guaranteed. 3. Make progress visible. Your brain loves proof. Use a checklist you can actually check, a streak you can actually see, a word count that actually climbs. When progress becomes a little video game, you stick around to beat the next level. 4. Make friction your friend. Friction blocks action, so put it in front of distractions and remove it from the work. Log out of social apps. Move the phone to another room. Keep the document pinned and ready. If the path to work is the path of least resistance, the creature strolls right in. 5. Make stakes real before panic. Accountability doesn't have to be terror. It can be a promise. Tell someone you'll send a draft by 4 p.m. Book a study room. Schedule a live session. When someone else expects it, the panic monster whispers instead of screams. And that's enough. Part 5. The calendar of a life. Let's zoom out. Suppose you represented your life as a grid of small squares, one for every week from birth to 90 years old. It looks like a big blanket of dots. Now color in the weeks you've already lived. That's a sobering picture. The remaining dots are not infinite. They are precious. Now map your meaningful pursuits onto those dots. If you want to write a novel in the next 2 years, how many weeks is that? If you want to become fluent in a new language, how many weeks do you need for consistent practice? If you want better relationships, how many weeks of quality time does that take? When you mark your intentions on that grid, you can see, literally see, what no deadline procrastination steals. It doesn't rob a week, it robs a row. It turns potential into maybes. This is not an argument for panic, it's an argument for design. The point of mapping your life is not to make you anxious, it's to make you honest. When you can see the dots, you choose with open eyes. Part 6. The 3 conversations of a productive day. If procrastination is a tug-of-war inside your head, try replacing it with 3 quick conversations. Conversation A. With the planner, 5 minutes. Each morning, ask, if I could only make one move today that would matter in 3 months, what would it be? Make that your first protected block. Then ask, what's the smallest version of that move? Reduce the first step until it's embarrassingly doable. The goal is not heroics, it's a guaranteed start. Conversation B. With the creature, 30 seconds. Promise it a treat. On schedule, not as an escape. We work 25 minutes, then we get a 5-minute reward we actually enjoy. Bonus points. If the reward gets you out of your chair, water, a stretch, sunlight on your face, the creature loves a prize. It just needs it soon, certain, and simple. Conversation. C. With future you, 30 seconds. Say out loud, thank you. Thank future you for doing the work you don't feel like doing. Gratitude is a strange fuel. It turns drudgery into a gift you leave on your own doorstep. When you flip the emotion, you flip the likelihood you'll start. Part 7. The 4 Horsemen of Delay, and what to do about them. Procrastination often wears 4 disguises. Here's how to unmask each one. 1. Perfectionism. When quality is your identity, starting feels dangerous. The fix: set a bad first draft goal. Aim for 200 words of nonsense, a sketch that's intentionally rough, a take that's meant to be deleted. You cannot edit what doesn't exist. Make first and ugly a ritual, not a failure. 2. Overwhelm. Too many steps paralyze. The fix: chunk until the task fits in a 25-minute box. If it doesn't fit, chunk again. There is always a smaller version. Research 1 source. Outline 3 bullets. Process 5 emails. Format the first page. 3. Ambiguity. When you don't know what good looks like, your brain resists. The fix: define done. Write a single sentence that finishes the line. This is done when. Make it observable. Page length, number of examples, time on task. Now you're chasing a finish line you can see. 4. Misery. Some tasks are just unpleasant. The fix: pair and place. Pair the task with a comfortable environment, music without lyrics, your favorite mug, a clean desk, and a clear exit ramp, a timer. Misery hates momentum. Once you're rolling, even boring tasks take on the dignity of motion. Part 8. The social life of focus. We pretend productivity is a solo sport, but your attention is social. When you change your environment, your behavior changes without you noticing. Work where other people are working. A library, a cafe, a study hall, even a virtual co-working room triggers a copycat effect. When you see others do focused things, your creature stops asking for a party. Declare your intention in public. Tell one friend, "I'm doing a 90-minute deep dive from 2 to 3:30. Can I text you a thumbs up when I'm done?" You just created a tiny social contract, which calls the panic monster early in a friendly voice. Borrow momentum. Start your session by replying to one thoughtful message from someone you respect. The emotional tone of that act becomes the emotional tone of your next act. Respect is contagious. Part 9. The energy economy. You don't have a time problem. You have an energy rhythm. Procrastination loves low energy because low energy loves comfort. Build a day around your natural peaks. Peak hours. Schedule your hardest, most important task in the first 2 to 4 hours after you fully wake up, when your brain is most stable. Protect this time like a surgical appointment. No errands, no meetings, no quick anything. Trough. Expect a slump. Plan shallow work. Email triage, formatting, scheduling. Precisely then. When the trough arrives, you won't interpret it as failure. You'll treat it as design. Recovery. Real rest is not the dark playground. It's sleep, sunlight, movement, water, and conversation. If you replace doom scrolling with a 10-minute walk, your afternoon changes without any extra discipline. The creature gets novelty. The planner gets a better brain. Part 10. Building a procrastination-proof project. Let's put this together in a mini blueprint you can apply to any project. Step 1. Write a 1-sentence why. If I do this well, then 3 months from now, I'll have frows. Make it something your future self can point to. Step 2. Define done. This is complete when crow. Use numbers, length, count, time, quality criteria you control. Step 3. Plot the first 5 micro wins. Each should fit 25 minutes or less. If not, shrink again. Your only goal on day 1 is to get win number 1. Step 4. Set 3 guardrails. A daily start time for your main block. A no-phone rule for that block. An accountability ping to a person who expects a check-in. Step 5. Plan the celebration. When you hit a milestone, do something you actually like. Reward design keeps the creature cooperating. Run this blueprint once and reflect. What blocked you? Where did you drift? Then adjust the guardrails, not your character. Part 11. The kindness strategy. Shame is gasoline for procrastination. You feel behind, so you avoid the feeling by avoiding the work. which makes you more behind, which increases shame. To break that loop, switch fuels. Name it without drama. I'm delaying. That's a description, not a verdict. Shrink it without bargaining. 5 minutes. Start a 5-minute clock and promise only presence. Many great days begin as just 5 minutes. Reset without punishment. If you slip, you are not back to zero. You are back to now. Continue from there. Kindness is not indulgence, it's maintenance. You can't run a marathon on self-contempt. You can run many on compassionate rigor. Part 12. Fear, the quiet architect. Under most delay is fear. Fear of being judged, fear of choosing, fear of losing a perfect idea by turning it into an imperfect reality. The planner tries to argue fear away. The creature tries to outrun it with entertainment. Neither works. Try this. Turn fear into a collaborator. Write down the question fear is asking. What if this is bad? Answer it with a plan. Then I'll ask for feedback on a small piece. What if I waste time? Then I'll cap the experiment at 2 hours. Fear respects specifics. It shrinks when you give it jobs. Part 13. Rituals that start you. People who start reliably don't have better willpower. They have rituals that take care of the first 2 minutes. Here are 3 that work. The 2-minute tidy. Before you begin, clear your desk for 120 seconds. The motion flips your brain into setup mode, and setup mode becomes start mode. The same song. Use the same instrumental track as a cue for deep work. After a week, your brain associates those notes with focus, like Pavlov, but for progress. The doorway declaration. As you sit, say 1 sentence out loud. For the next 25 minutes, I will write sentences. Future me can judge them later. The declaration closes the negotiation loop that eats your morning. Part 14. When you can't start. Sometimes the problem is heavier. Grief, burnout, depression, chronic stress. If you're in that season, tips aren't enough. Your task is to reduce the load before you increase the pressure. That might mean talking to someone professional, asking for help, renegotiating deadlines, or choosing fewer goals on purpose. Discipline is a gift you give a healthy nervous system. If your system is on fire, the gift is water. Part 15. The practice of finishing. Starting is a skill. Finishing is a practice. Here's a closing habit to build it. Pick a finish line you can cross today. Send draft to Anna, not perfect the chapter. Do a final 5-minute pass that only corrects the obvious. Typos, formatting, missing headings. Ship it. Send, post, submit, or file. Log the finish in a simple list with the date. 3-sentence postmortem. What worked? What dragged? What will you change next time? Each finish is a vote in your identity. I'm someone who completes things. Identity change is built from receipts. Part 16. The week you will actually live. Before we end, design one realistic week. The week that fits your real life, not the fantasy you create on Sundays. Use these anchors. 2 deep work blocks on weekdays, 60-90 minutes each. 1 maintenance hour for admin chaos. A protected play window you don't negotiate away. A reset ritual on Friday. Clean workspace, empty inbox, write next week's one big move. Then forget perfection. Live the week at 80%. That's how habits become culture in your life. Part 17. The promise to future. There's someone listening to this who has carried a quiet dream for a long time. It sits on a shelf behind louder responsibilities. You tell yourself you'll start when things calm down, when the inbox is lighter, when the kids are older, when you feel ready. But life doesn't present perfect starting conditions. It presents days. Today is one of your squares on the grid. Make one small move. Today. That future you will thank you for. Send one email to a mentor. Sketch 1 page. Record 1 messy minute. Save $20. Learn 5 words. Take 1 walk with someone you love. Plant a flag in the ground of now. The rational planner will smile. The instant gratification creature will discover that progress can feel good in the moment. And the panic monster? It can keep sleeping a little more often, because you'll be creating urgency without fear, by caring about your own time while you still have it. Closing the office in your mind will never be perfect. The skateboarder will always live there. The planner will always make optimistic calendars. The monster will always hate surprises. But you can get them to work together by shrinking the first step, seeing your time, designing your environment, making stakes friendly, and practicing a kind, relentless start. You don't need to become a different person. You need to give the person you already are a better system. And the best day to begin is the one you're in. Take a breath. Choose the smallest useful step. Set a 25-minute timer. Tell someone your plan. Then go. Future you is already writing a thank you note.